Habits, pleasure, and fantasy in the quiet corners of human curiosity. Questions about pleasure, desire, and the habits we form in pursuit of both. Many wonder, especially young adults, how masturbation and pornography shape their ability to experience intimacy with another person. It's not something rats can teach as they move with instinct, without obsession or fixation. Humans, however, are creatures of habit. We cling to patterns, and yet, paradoxically, predictability bores us. A Friday night at 11:30, the evening news sign-off and routine intimacy becomes a ritual we follow without passion. The human mind rebels against monotony, seeking excitement in what is unknown, unexplored, and often forbidden. Fantasies emerge as the natural response to this tension. They are the mind's playground, a rehearsal space for desire. Masters and Johnson illustrated this brilliantly in their groundbreaking research. In their sensate-focused therapy, participants refrained from touching one another for over a week, instead immersing themselves in the fantasies of others. By the second Friday, their own arousal had been rekindled not by the familiar, but by imagination, by shared and private fantasies, turning curiosity into connection. Desire, it seems, is as much cultivated by anticipation as by action. Pornography, in this light, functions as a venue of fantasy playground for arousal. Its narratives, whether explicit or subtly suggestive, offer a canvas for exploration. People gravitate toward fantasies they might never express in reality, drawn to the thrill of the forbiddens. In places with lingering cultural taboos, like Mississippi, interracial pornography evokes a sense of naughtiness and exhilaration that might not be otherwise accessible. Here, exoticism transforms into eroticism, a safe outlet for desires that cannot always be shared. Yet, intimacy is often hampered by secrecy. Couples rarely share pornography openly, bound by fear of judgment. And therein lies a paradox. The tool that could enhance mutual pleasure often fosters shame. Moral incongruence where fantasy clashes with perceived morality can prevent individuals from exploring their desires safely. For example, young adults may discover kink or bondage through porn, yet lack guidance. Without mentorship, the line between curiosity and harm becomes perilously thin. Within the BDSM community, this gap is bridged, teaching safe exploration, but many remain in isolation, navigating desire alone, DR. Anna Good emphasizes the transformative potential of open dialogue. In clinical trials of sexual function medications, a notable placebo effect approximately 30% emerged simply through the active discussion. Talking about desires, frustrations, and fantasies alleviates pent-up tension, reducing guilt and fostering genuine sexual expression. Such conversations are as potent as any pharmacological intervention, revealing the power of communication to restore intimacy and motivation. Physiological synchrony in relationship sex is more than sensation, it is synchronization. Across brains and bodies, couples exhibit measurable physiological synchrony. In romantic partnerships, each studies show alignment of temporal lobe waves, particularly in response to stimuli that elicit emotional arousal. Mother-child interactions reveal similar synchrony, shared eye contact, mirrored facial expressions, and coordinated emotional responses. When couples drift apart, these subtle rhythms unravel. Walking in step falters, hands slip from grasp, and touch becomes infrequent, a quiet signal of emotional and physiological distance. Synchrony is facilitated by the thalamus, merging sensory input and coordinating cortical brain activity. The recounting of shared experiences triggers a mirrored emotional response, excitement, nostalgia, and arousal resurface simultaneously in both partners. This phenomenon underlies the profound connection forged through shared memory, storytelling, and mutual engagement. The brain maps desire not just to action, but to anticipation, pattern, and resonance. Pharmacological interventions, like beta blockers, provide a window into this synchrony. In PTSD studies, soldiers given propranolol could experience traumatic imagery without the physiological spike typically triggered by stress. By modulating heart rate and arousal, the brain effectively resets, demonstrating the plasticity of emotional and physiological response. Similar mechanisms may apply in sexual arousal, where the intensity of experience is context-dependent, modifiable by environment, novelty, and emotional state. Orgasm neurochemistry. The journey to orgasm is a carefully orchestrated interplay of neurotransmitters and spinal reflexes. The dopamine rises in anticipation, triggering arousal and heightened attention. Noradrenaline heightens alertness, while serotonin modulates parasympathetic activity, maintaining genital blood flow. Lateral spinothalamic neurons function as the gatekeepers, triggering the rapid sympathetic surge that marks the point of no return and imminent climax. The climax is paired with a release of opioids and serotonin within the brain, primarily affecting the frontal cortex and limbic structures. Beta endorphins flood the system, dampening dopamine temporarily, creating a window for recovery before the cycle begins anew. In women, pelvic floor contractions may manifest as waves or avalanches of intensity, lasting from 8 to 20 seconds. In men, the refractory period is often longer, yet the underlying neurochemistry is strikingly similar. Prolactin surges provide an objective measure of orgasm, even if brief, marking the physiological imprint of pleasure. Sympathetic arousal is context-dependent. In new relationships, novelty heightens excitement. Multiple climaxes may occur in rapid succession. Over time, habituation reduces arousal, but vacation or novel environments can reignite the sympathetic surge. Understanding these mechanisms illuminates why desire fluctuates, why routine diminishes thrill, and why human sexuality is inextricably tied to context, creativity, and effort. Effort, work, and play in sex desire is not merely natural, it requires cultivation. Cultural narratives of effortless passion obscure the necessity of playful exploration. Stressors, technology, and accessibility to pornography influence arousal, making active engagement essential. Play, like childhood exploration, reintroduces novelty and curiosity. Couples are encouraged to experiment different locations, varied positions, and playful improvisation. The bedroom is no longer the sole arena. Kitchens, living rooms, and even temporary hotel rooms offer opportunities for spontaneous, joyful exploration. Cher Height once suggested that sex can be a hot dog and a Coke or a 5-course French meal. Variety, spontaneity, and surprise maintain arousal, preventing habituation. Planning, anticipation, and novelty through dating, travel, or imaginative play rekindle desire, countering the dulling effects of predictability. Human pleasure is a dance between routine and novelty, desire and restraint, fantasy and reality. Breaking sexual routine. Modern technology facilitates experimentation. Short-term hotel rentals, novel spaces, and private experiences allow couples to escape predictability. Human desire thrives on oscillation between the comfort of habit and the thrill of unpredictability. Fantasy is not a deviation, it is an essential component of sexual health, an avenue for expression, and a catalyst for mutual intimacy. Routine, while necessary for stability, must be tempered with creativity to sustain arousal, connection, and satisfaction. The paradox of human desire is clear. Predictability offers security, yet stifles excitement. Novelty excites, yet challenges habit. In navigating these tensions, couples engage in a dynamic interplay of biology, psychology, and imagination. The science of pleasure reveals that arousal is not merely a physical phenomenon, it is deeply intertwined with cognitive anticipation, social context, and shared experience. Dr. Anna Good's insights illuminate this intricate dance, bridging neuroscience, psychology, and human experience. By understanding the physiology of desire, the neurochemistry of climax, and the power of fantasy, individuals and couples can reclaim intimacy, mitigate shame, and cultivate profound sexual connection. Pleasure is not accidental, it is deliberate, orchestrated, and deeply human.